started.
Yeah. Welcome to Stockholm Syndrome. I'm joined today by Kossio and Alex,
Hi guys.
and
Hi, guys.
yeah, let's get into it. So today we're gonna kind of touch on their preferred diet.
Well,
On-
not fully.
Well, yes,
Almost.
You're getting there.
but gym stuff. And actually, we have 1.5 Germans and 1.5 Bulgarians here today.
Yeah.
So it's perfectly balanced, as all things should be. And I'm also dressed in a Tommy Shelby outfit. Don't
Oh,
ask
yeah,
me
so-
why.
I mean, we kind of had to do
yeah.
a little.
I can put on
You
this.
just look like, I guess, like the grandpa.
Which grandpa?
I don't know, German grandpa, Bulgarian grandpa.
I guess.
Bulgarian grandpa.
Bulgarian
Like
grandpas
they-
actually look like this. Yeah,
Everyone wears this.
yeah, that's true. I feel like Bulgarian grandpas and German grandpas, they differ a lot.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how do they differ?
Like because I remember both of my grandpas, they're both not with us anymore, but one of them, like I can remember him because he passed away in 2010, and all I remember is like him playing cards outside, like in front of the building where they lived,
Yeah.
like playing cards all day and going fishing, and he would always wear like a shirt
Mm.
and then this hat, you know.
Yeah,
That's just their outfit, you know.
it's very common. Like Bulgarian grandpas, like
Yeah.
not grandmas, but like you can see them, for example, in Sofia or even in the countryside. They all wear that hat, for example, and they always play like chess or
Yeah.
I don't know how you call this game with the like on the opposite side of chess, you know.
The dama.
Dama, but I don't know what.
I don't know how it's in English.
Like you know with the
With the stones where
yeah
you skip.
yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's basically called lady in German.
Oh yeah, that's what dama means in
Yeah.
in
Oh, yeah,
in
okay.
English, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a very common scene, especially in the parks, for example.
Yeah.
Like there are
Okay.
even like specific places for like tables with like chessboards.
Yeah.
That's so cool, though.
All grandparents, you can see them like all there.
I don't know, in Germany I mean, it's really hard for me to explain like German grandparents because I don't have any.
They mostly stay inside. I
Yeah,
feel like.
yeah, same.
Or like
And
go on walks.
The thing is,
That's it.
they always seem. I mean, to me at least, older German people, they kind of seem grumpy to me.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends on whether you live in the city or in the countryside as well, because I think that plays a big role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like if you live in the city, it's like more lively. I mean, for sure you have more opportunities, I guess.
Mm.
The thing is, I feel like in Bulgaria, it doesn't really make that big of a difference whether it is the countryside or the city.
No, it does.
Like no, for how people look to me.
Oh,
But then again, I don't have as much experience. I mean, I don't have any experience of really living in Bulgaria,
Yeah.
and you do.
I would say it's a huge difference if you compare the capital city to the countryside. Like everyone moves to the capital city, and like so many places, like small villages and stuff, they just get abandoned. Literally, like
Mm.
in the past 10 years, probably there's so many villages that just get abandoned because people just leave and like
Yeah.
because there are no opportunities there. Like
You guys not? I think your population is shrinking in general.
we
Yeah,
are. I
very.
think we're the fastest dying nation in the world.
That's
Or
crazy.
like-
I'm not sure about the world, but I
I
think, in
think-
Europe for sure.
No. I checked it last year. I think it was in the world,
Yeah.
like percentage wise. I mean,
Yeah.
Even more than like countries like Syria and stuff. That would be crazy though, because
I don't know.
people are leaving from those like mad.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is,
And
I mean,
Are getting
in
killed.
Since like communism collapsed and now, so it's been like how many? 30 years, right?
Yeah.
There was like 2 million people just left, you know, and we were 9 million, so now we're even below 7 million.
Yeah.
So it's a quite rapid decrease, you know.
Yeah.
But like that was actually one of the points I wanted to touch upon.
I mean, you're kind of, you know, your family.
You know, I'm part of the deal. Like my parents, they left Germany because
Bulgaria.
yeah, they left Bulgaria in 89 or 90. Like
Yeah.
and they came to study in Germany because like
Exactly
their
when
high school.
communism collapsed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Their high school, they went to like German speaking high school.
Mhm.
And we've already talked about this, but like the language schools that teach other languages in Bulgaria, they're really high
Like
up.
they're most elite.
Yeah.
to go to.
So, and really from what I've understood from my parents, it's if you want to like it's hard to make a living in Bulgaria. And that's always something I've kind of had in my mind, and I'm like I couldn't see myself growing up in Bulgaria, and I'm really grateful that
Yeah.
I grew up in Germany. But then again, I love coming back to Bulgaria, even though like there's lots of things to hate about it, but that's about every place, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
there's things to hate about Germany as well. I love coming back every summer because like I've pretty much gone back to Bulgaria every single summer, but I could not see myself living there.
Yeah.
I just think it's very different from growing up in Germany.
So you go to like a tourist destination?
No, we
or-
don't. We actually stay most summers. We stay with my grandparents. So
Okay.
like, but we're right on the coast in Varna. So it's really nice because we're like 5 to 10 minutes away from the beach, both of my grandparents' houses, and like for us it's vacation, but it's also seeing all my relatives that
Yeah.
I haven't seen for a year. So that's always kind of a highlight of my year, even though you don't really put it up there as a highlight, but it's still something that when you think about it, you always look forward to.
It's like a family reunion.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you get like big family celebrations as well?
I mean, the thing is, who do I have there? Like, I have one cousin that lives there. Now both of my grandmas and one uncle and one aunt. So it's not really that many people. But you see, like, more distant relatives. You know, my dad's cousins and stuff like that. You see them, but it's not really a huge gathering.
Right.
It's really the closer circle. Because also that's interesting. A lot of my relatives, they don't live in Bulgaria anymore. I have relatives in the US, I have relatives in Italy, and I have relatives in Germany and Spain. So
That's crazy.
they're kind of scattered as well.
Yeah.
They took their opportunity and left.
I guess for my family it's kind of similar. I got relatives here in Stockholm actually.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I've got. Well, my family is mostly just from Germany.
Yeah.
But my aunt actually, well, she's got 3 kids with an American,
Mm-hmm.
but and her son lives in Stockholm as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think her other kids are still in Germany, but they've been around as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, and I'm actually 1/16th Mexican.
Oh,
I think you've told me that
Oh, yeah.
before. Yeah.
I have.
Wait, how? How is that? Like,
Do the math.
No, so basically the grandma of my grandpa.
okay.
Okay, so my mother's great grandmother,
Yeah.
Right.
my grandpa's grandmother, my great grandpa's
Great grandpa. Your great grandpa's.
mother. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She's
And I think it
Mexican.
was an arranged marriage.
Mm.
So
But
yeah,
so
different times back then.
Yeah. I guess.
But obviously 1/16th is basically nothing. I can't even speak Spanish.
Yeah. Like I know my name is not Bulgarian. My last name Stavrev. It comes from a Greek word which is Stavros. So I know I have like
But
Greek.
there is a lot of like influence.
But I know from like every year, like especially this year, when I was like I look back, my grandpa drew like all these family trees dating
Oh
back
yeah,
to
that's
like
so
relatives. And I've been told several times that I have a Greek relative somewhere, like
Yeah.
back in history,
Yeah.
and that's where my name comes from.
I mean, that's cool. Greece is a nice nation.
Yeah, I guess. But
Mark comes
I
from there.
I prefer Bulgaria to be honest.
Okay.
I have a cool story about my last name actually.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
probably told you, right?
Bullet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just spoiled it.
No, but tell the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so my last name is Kossio in Bulgarian, which comes from the word bullet in Bulgarian. I don't know how true this story is, but I mean, I would like to believe it, you know?
That's a good thing about
Yeah,
stories. You know?
so apparently some great grandpa or great grandpa of my grandpa was involved in the industry of producing bullets or something for some. I don't even know if it's not the the world wars, like some Balkan war probably before that.
Yeah.
Do you know your Balkan history? Because I don't.
And
I really
yeah,
don't.
he was involved in producing bullets, and they just started calling him by that name. And since then, my family tree just, I mean, like from him, my whole family tree is like has this surname. Just kind of cool, but I don't know how true it is.
But tell the misspelling.
Oh yeah, so half of my family is, I mean, but that's in Bulgarian. Like,
So it's
so
interesting.
they misspelled my family's name with like one letter,
Mm.
and so my part of my family and my uncle's family, they have different spelling just because of the like my dad's passport has a different spelling than my
Yeah.
his brother's
By one letter.
by one letter.
Yeah, it's Korshum and Kor.
Yeah, with O or U.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably how I would spell it wrong, probably. Like
I
my
mean,
my Bulgarian isn't the best,
Mm.
and you know.
so
Yeah.
that's fine. Like you haven't really lived in Bulgaria.
No, I haven't. But for that, it's pretty decent, you know.
I think it's very good.
I'm glad I know more than just German.
But also on the topic about, I mean, you were talking about that you have families all around the world and stuff.
Yeah.
For me, it's not really the case. Like all my family, and not even like even the distant part of the family. I think it's kind of all in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
I only have like a cousin who like she lived in the US, then in Canada and stuff for like 8 years overall.
And she came back.
She came back, and now she works in Bulgaria and stuff, and like she has a family.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my whole family is in Bulgaria, so I can't really relate on that topic. But yeah.
Yeah.
I also have a cousin that he moved to Spain with my other cousin, so like their brother and sister. And he tried to make a living in Spain, but you know there was just something about it that he didn't like, and I think he lived there for almost 2 years,
Yeah.
at least 1.5 years. He knows Spanish and he likes going there on vacation, but there was just something he was missing about Bulgaria, and he returned, and now
So he lived in Bulgaria for his whole life, and then
yeah,
he
moved to Spain to try and make a living, and like he even found a job and everything, but something just pulled him back to Bulgaria.
Yeah.
So there's also these people, you know, that really like Bulgaria, and I
Yeah.
can really see it for him. He has a big love for like the sea, and I think that's really what's keeping him. Although I mean, he was in Barcelona, there's also
Yeah.
water there, but I don't know. There's
the vibe is different.
It's a very different vibe. Yeah, that's true.
How's that?
Like Bulgaria is definitely more dirty.
Okay.
That's a very nice promotion for my.
No, guys, Bulgaria is a very nice country, and you should, if you have the opportunity to travel there, you should. And like I myself, I would like to explore more parts of Bulgaria because I've mainly been by the coast where my grandparents are, and like we did one trip to the mountains. I don't even remember the name where we went.
Thing is, for Bulgaria, a lot of things are kind of not known just because it was like a communist country, and like not a lot of stuff was shared with the West.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But then after that, like now it's getting like more and more popular destination, you know,
Yeah.
for like tourists and stuff. And I think that's very good. Like
The thing is, what I hate about like Bulgarian tourism and how it is advertised, you maybe know from like German people when they graduate from high school, they
Yeah.
go to like wild party trips in
Yes.
Bulgaria, and
I
that's
went to Croatia.
yeah.
No,
I mean,
that's fine. Go
probably
there.
like
Croatia, by the
similar.
way, very beautiful country. I don't know. You've been there, you?
No.
No.
I've only been to the party destination.
Exactly.
So like, yeah.
And that's what bugs me so much about people going to Bulgaria just to party, because there's like so many nice things to see. I know that.
But that's just for the teenagers, I would say.
I know, but even as a teenager, there's a lot of nice things to see.
Yeah.
But like, I feel.
Look, the teenagers, they want
I
to
know
see
they
other
want
things.
to. I know, man.
They wanna.
I know what they want to see. I've been there. Actually, probably still am, but yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
And the thing is, sometimes I feel like Bulgaria. There's so many nice things to see in Bulgaria, but
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like they do a very poor job at advertising what they have to offer. Like also when it comes down to landmarks, you know, everywhere around the world you have like preservation and protection. They build like visitor centers when it
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
down to like landmarks, but in Bulgaria that sometimes just isn't the case, and there's really beautiful things to see
Yeah,
there.
that's true.
I couldn't really pinpoint one thing about Bulgaria actually.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you think about France, you think of the Eiffel Tower
Yeah, exactly.
immediately.
Yeah.
But then again, this is kind of a special thing as well.
It is, yeah, I guess.
Because, like, I guess when you think of the US, you think of the Statue of Liberty. But what do you think of when you hear Germany?
Right now, honestly, the first thing that came to my mind was the Brandenburg Gate.
Same.
That was
Maybe,
the first
yeah.
thing that came to my mind, but that's just because we were just talking about like
Landmarks.
the most famous landmark, and I feel
But-
like in Germany that's
Yeah.
the Brandenburg Gate. But I mean, I've been there a few times and I don't like it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a like or a hate for it.
Yeah.
It's just,
it's very basic. That's why I don't like about it. You know,
yeah.
I don't like basic places.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, Bulgaria, do you have landmarks that you could advertise and that you just do a bad job of?
I was thinking about more like nature
Okay.
landmarks.
Yeah.
For example, that's not gonna tell you anything, but Pubit Kamani.
Yeah,
Which
that's
means-
like one of the 2 desert regions
Yeah.
in Europe. So there's like one in Bulgaria, one in Spain. That's
Yeah.
like the only ones. I
Yeah.
think. And I mean, I haven't been there. You have been there. so-
It's beautiful. It's like these stone formations which look like they're man-made, but it's like some volcanic activity that formed those, and you have just stones like this coming out of the. Oh, it looks. This is maybe I should describe. It looks like a Coca-Cola can coming
Yeah.
out of the ground and stretching up for like 5 meters.
It's
Oh,
like-
definitely aliens. What?
it looks
like there are theories, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it
okay.
looks completely fascinating, and then
It looks like something that you haven't seen.
Yeah.
and it's just there's no tourism about it. Like
Yeah.
the parking lot, it's the most shitty parking lot I've ever seen, and it's such a beautiful place to visit. It's
Yeah.
so mind-blowing when you're standing there, and you could make a whole big touristic attraction
Yeah.
out of it, but
We
there's
just
no,
gotta
there's
spread
just no
conspiracy
infrastructure.
theories about it.
Yeah, we should do that. Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
a really nice place.
Like fly some drones with like a UFO cardboard cutout and like above it, you know?
We should.
Like make a video, everybody's gonna go there.
The thing is, Bulgarians would probably believe that.
Probably.
Oh man. So if any aliens are out there listening,
They're in Bulgaria.
just go visit it and
Want to see an alien come to Bulgaria?
We have them all. Whatever you're looking for, we have it all.
now I was saying if there's any aliens listening, please take your spaceship, fly a few rounds above that formation.
Yeah.
You know?
We gotta get some more income in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
People need it.
Help the country out, you know?
Actually, I was watching like some statistic like a few months ago. Percentage-wise, again, I think there are more tourists. Like it was like a map of the world, and
Yeah.
they were showing which countries have more tourists coming in yearly,
Yeah.
more than the population of the country.
Yeah.
And Bulgaria was there, so
So
there
basically,
are more than 7 million. No, wait.
annual tourists.
Yeah, right.
But they all go to the beach to party the ass off. Probably.
Most
So
of them.
you can see a lot of people in the capital city as well,
Okay.
like especially in the center, because it was an important region in the Roman Empire or something. Like there are a lot of how do you say that in English? Fuck, I forgot the word. Ruins, right?
Oh, ruins.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like when you go in the capital city in the center, it's like the city is layered. You have like the Roman ruins like below you, then the kind of the communist vibe, but also modern vibe. On the ground, it's a multicultural. I guess you can say that.
That's cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
A lot of, Asian people coming to.
Oh, the infamous Asian tourist
Yeah,
buses.
like whenever I'm in the center, I just see like groups of Asian people just.
Yeah,
taking
that's so
pictures and stuff.
crazy. Apparently, this is all anecdotal, right? But apparently, in Asian culture, you just kind of wanna. Oh, in Chinese culture,
Mhm.
not to generalize here, because most of these tourists are actually Chinese, I think.
I guess.
I think. I mean, I can't say for sure, but
Yeah, I can see.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
that's what I've heard at least.
So, like, traveling is a status symbol. So you want to prove that you've been everywhere.
Mm.
That's why they take the pictures.
Yeah.
Not because they actually want to make nice pictures, just because they want to prove to their peers, I guess, that they've been there and that they have the status to be able to afford that travel.
Yeah.
That way of living.
So they just go on these tourist buses, they tour around Europe and make photos of everything to kind of prove they've been everywhere.
Yeah, that's kind of sad, isn't it?
It is.
Like, don't you want to go to places where not to show everyone you've been there, but like
Just
for
for the
yourself,
experience.
you know?
Yeah, just to be there. I'm sure there's gonna be Asian tourists that
Of
do
course,
the same.
of
You
course,
know,
yeah.
I'm just saying that's I think was what my Chinese teacher told me at some point, because I learned 2 years of Chinese when I was like 12.
Oh, what?
That's super cool.
That's mind blowing.
I
Can you
still
say,
remember
can you say some
stuff?
stuff?
I'm not gonna embarrass myself in front of my audience, right?
At 500 views, guys.
Well, but I think I can say like 10 words or something.
But that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That may be a bit off topic, but we started talking about like non-European tourists. I feel like I don't know, like Asian tourists or American tourists, like when they visit Europe, they don't specifically go to like one country and explore it or whatever,
Yeah.
but they just literally go and like take place, like I've been
Yeah.
to Germany, I've been to Italy, I've been to France, like for 2 weeks they just go all over the place and
Yeah, I don't think you really get a grasp of
exactly
the place.
exactly
But they also go to the like famous cities.
yeah exactly
Like they would go to Paris, to
Yeah.
Berlin, to Sweden, to Stockholm. You know.
Yeah. I guess so. And you mostly see cities. You don't
Exactly.
and like the biggest cities.
see. Yeah. I guess that's what America does really well. Just kind of nature tourism. And we don't really have that in Europe, do we? And at least not that I'm aware of. It's not our biggest thing. Like, if you go to the US, you want to see maybe Yellowstone National Park.
The thing is,
There is a lot of nature tourism.
there
in
is so
Bulgaria.
much.
There
in
is?
Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
But I don't know about other countries. Like my uncle is actually like involved in that. Like he's a
Tourist guide?
yeah,
Okay.
but like for nature. He like takes people on walks or like trips and stuff. Like he knows everything literally.
That's
He knows
so
all
cool.
the tracks,
Yeah.
like climbing rocks and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
So is that in like a nature reserve or?
No, it's just throughout the whole country. Like I mean, Bulgaria is kind of small,
Yeah.
It's like
I think
Size wise, it's not.
size-wise is
It's not
rather
that
small.
small.
I mean,
Really? Okay. I always thought it was rather on the bigger side in terms of space.
compared to what?
I don't know. Is it how large is it compared to Germany?
Oh,
Like
it's
a
much
third?
smaller, I guess.
I think
The
it's like
third,
a third.
half?
Yeah, I guess.
Something like
Third.
that.
No, it's
Probably.
the third, probably.
Hmm.
But I mean,
That's
yeah.
so big though.
Yeah, exactly. If you kind of compare it to the population, then it seems rather big than small.
Yeah.
For like 7 million people, and
I
then
don't
there's
know.
80 million in Germany.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
see what I'm trying to say? Like
Like I can't
from that
imagine.
perspective.
Yeah, but there's
Right.
actually, I think, and that's so cool. There's those initiatives that want to rewild Europe
Oh really?
and introduce nature back
Mm.
into Europe, and it's I think in 6 or 7 areas. So, for example, Lapland in Sweden and Norway, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's a region in between Spain and Portugal. I think there's something in Bulgaria. There's something in the Alps. Something in Romania as well. I think.
Mm.
And I think their goal is to just reestablish natural
Resources and stuff.
natural
Habitat.
habitat
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
species.
Yeah.
Restore ecosystems.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And I've watched like a whole series on that. I think it was called,
What is it called?
Europe's New Wild,
Mhm.
something like that.
Mm. I don't know about the whole program, but I think I know about the one like in Spain and Portugal. There's
Yeah.
like a very rare lynx species. Is it
Oh
lynx?
yeah,
Lynx,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
I think it's the European lynx, but there's only
Iberian lynx. I think.
Yeah, that's it. And it almost went extinct, and that's why they had this like
Yeah.
huge initiative to try and like provide them
Preserve
with
it.
more habitat so they can basically rewild them and let the population grow. And I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
And I think what they're focusing on as well is bringing back like large animals.
Mm.
And I think they're breeding like cattle to be like an aurochs again.
Yeah.
They're introducing Wisent, so basically the
Oh, what?
European bison.
Oh,
I think they're also doing that in Bulgaria. by the
they
way.
were doing it last year. I remember.
Yeah.
And this year,
I mean, I don't know. Like they
It's
released a few like bisons
Oh,
into the
can you press the red button?
here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It just stops every half hour. I don't know.
so we got.
I'm gonna have to look through the settings on the camera.
Yeah.
But I guess for next time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the screen that I edit in.
Oh yeah, I saw it on the
Yeah.
video.
So basically, I think that's super cool, and I think that this would have been something that I could have seen myself studying, nature and ecology.
That's so interesting because we literally talked about stuff like this the other week in the gym.
Yeah.
Before. So like I had my mind set on studying medicine.
Yeah.
And I mean, it ended up being my biomedicine, which is still kind of close. But my actual dream was to study marine biology.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And the only reason why I didn't do it was because, I mean, there's very little jobs in that field.
Of course, there's so many people wanting to be marine biologists because it's like a dream job.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. It would have been a dream come true, but you know, I don't think it's hard to provide for yourself. You know.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I took the more, even though they always tell you like follow your dreams.
Yeah.
I
when
think
you become old, you realize
yes,
there are
you
different
realize-
factors, you know.
exactly. Sometimes you gotta be reasonable
Yeah.
and not follow your dreams. But that was one of my big like basically what I wanted to do if I could have chosen freely.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before about like enjoying to watch like animal documentaries.
Oh yeah. Oh, like if I'm if I just want to chillax.
Yeah.
Like I just love that.
Yeah. That's
honestly.
like I started doing this a few years back. And that's really what like struck my attention for like nature and what's happening around us and all, you know, basically the wild parts of our world. And
Yeah.
that's also when I became vegetarian, and started, you know, to like kind of rearrange my life and some of my habits, because I don't like, my parents never taught me to be like sustainable or
Yeah.
stuff like that, you know, to watch out what you're buying.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever learned those things from my parents, and right now it's rather me teaching them how to do those things
Yeah.
than the other way around. But that's where it all started, by watching animal documentaries, you know.
I've been actually watching them since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that's
cool.
been my big thing when I was like 3-4 years old. I wouldn't watch cartoons.
Mhm.
Like my parents put on animal documentaries, and I knew every
That's so
animal
good. That's so good.
by name, like all like the crazy little critters.
Mm.
And I kind of lost that, honestly, but
didn't.
I retained a lot.
Yeah.
And I think the fascination never went away.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think you don't really need to study it to become like invested in that.
No, you don't, definitely.
I think it helps, and I think I might actually study some of it, but I think there's so many resources out there on the internet that you can just educate yourself on that.
Yeah.
And there's not that much money in it. So I'd rather,
unfortunately,
go earn money elsewhere and try and improve the world with that as well.
Yeah.
But kind of make some money and then do this as a side hustle.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I guess you
attitude.
can do it as a hobby, you know.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Like if it
As a
interests
passion,
you,
I guess.
exactly. Yeah.
Did you guys have like any dreams before studying biomedicine? What was your plan?
Oh, so basically how I got into biomedicine is biology and chemistry always came easy to me. So I didn't really have to do that much and got really good grades.
Yeah.
So I just thought this could be really good. I think if I had left out the money aspect and the future aspect and just focused on what I would have really liked to do, I would have probably just gone into biology or ecology and that kind of stuff. But I would have probably tried and work as a nature, what's it called? Conservationist.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought about medicine, but I don't want to cut up dead people. That's basically my reason for.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Like you're gonna have to do that during the studies.
Yeah, I think that's just super disrespectful.
I'm kind of fascinated.
What is disrespectful?
Cutting up dead people. I don't know.
But
it kind of feels like.
But
sacrilege.
But they agreed to it.
Yeah, don't they consent?
Yeah.
Well, yes. I guess it's still. It just feels wrong to me.
You can't cut on every person, but the ones that consent.
I mean, legally.
Legally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, guys. Yeah, no, but
I just don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's plain and simple, and just feels wrong to me. Other people can do it. I'm fine with that. I'm not gonna stop anybody from doing it.
Yeah.
But it's just not for me. And also, I see there's so many things wrong with, I guess, modern medicine.
Like, what are you referring to?
Well, basically the amount of, drugs we pump into our systems. How we treat how in Western medicine we kind of treat the symptoms and not the
cause.
The cause,
Yeah.
I guess. And I kind of didn't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Either. That's why I want to go into biomedicine and just understand how to be healthy, how to live healthily.
Yeah.
And then maybe transmit that message onto other people. So I might want to, or actually, do research and actually get into something that's going to help the world.
I mean,
do you know what kind of research, particularly you're interested in?
I guess maybe diets,
Yeah.
Exercise.
I think you've told me lifestyle and.
I guess lifestyle in general.
Yeah.
So basically how your diet, your sleep rhythm,
Yeah.
I guess, your stress levels, and so on will affect you in your health.
When did you start being interested in lifestyle or managing your lifestyle, like food habits, sleep, exercise as well?
Actually, for me, it was when I came to Sweden. Before that, I didn't really think about it that much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just met you guys and also the biomedical program, which I really like. Everything happened here literally in 1 year. I kind of changed my life, I would say.
Same.
I mean, yeah, there is a huge change, I would say, in my lifestyle.
You, Moritz, because you I think I remember you like the first time I met you and
Yeah.
the first like conversation we had about this, and it sounded like for you it wasn't a change that happened just in Sweden, and you looked very fit before that too, unlike us.
Um. Well, honestly, hmm, probably within the last. No, it's not true. Since I've been born, I think it's just something that my parents really transmitted onto me.
Yeah.
Because from when I was a little kid, my parents would basically never give me sweets.
Mm.
Um, like I'd sometimes get some, but yeah, basically no sugar, a lot of veggies, and I grew up like my favorite food was basically vegetable soup, and I loved it
Yeah.
because I'd been conditioned as a kid to like that stuff.
Mm.
And to this day, I can't eat very sugary products and not puke.
What?
Like how sugary are we talking?
Not super sugary,
Okay. Yeah.
you know.
Thing is, I guess it's kind of the same for me. Like, I've also like I wouldn't say I had like a very unhealthy lifestyle, even before like Sweden. It's just that I kind of started questioning, um, like my habits, literally,
Mm.
like my diet habits, my exercise habits, everything. You know, that's connected to lifestyle and health.
Mm,
And you realize some things, like, of course, everyone has different opinion, but like you realize some things for yourself can be better and some things can be worse. And I thing is, yeah, I didn't question it before I came to Sweden.
yeah.
Um, but I wouldn't say I had a very like unhealthy lifestyle. I think I was like rather healthy as well.
Yeah, I think it just kind of built up for me over my
Yeah.
life. So it wasn't really just Sweden. Um, though I've had really unhealthy phases, not really in
I mean, yeah, everyone has.
nutrition, but like a phase where I basically drank a lot of alcohol and
Yeah.
energy drinks
Yeah, for
every
sure.
day.
Yeah.
And that's just not good. And
But
you
this
feel the
kind of
impact on you.
lifestyle is like for I don't know, like a month or
Yeah.
it's not like you do it like every like for
Of
years,
course,
you know.
yes. And I think it's just been kind of gradually building up. And when I came here, I really, because we studied, well, biochemistry and all
Yeah.
and I got to know how everything works together in the body,
Yeah.
and that
That
everything's
was really
interconnected
interesting.
and how everything kind of works. And that's when I started to really be interested in all that stuff. And I think another big inspiration is just listening to different professionals on the internet, just laying all that out. I think one way I got into that was, for example, just listening to the Joe Rogan Experience, honestly, because he had a lot of people on that really knew their stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when you start to do your own research on that. Just listen to those people in other settings and really start caring about the way you live your life and your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think it's really been positive for me. And there's still a long way to go.
Yeah.
I think I've made the biggest changes in the last year. But that was mostly, I don't know, not in my nutrition really.
Mm.
However, I have basically since this last semester basically adopted a diet plan for myself, kind of, and it's not as radical as your guys' diet plan, which we'll I guess get to now. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're vegan and you're
Like I
almost
wouldn't
vegan.
call myself vegan because I still take some foods or products that are not vegan, but
Yeah.
You're transitioning.
yeah, if you can say that.
I mean, are you trying to become?
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually, you know.
I mean, at this point, you're gonna always harm some creatures. Probably you can't be completely vegan. Probably it's gonna be hard to not like.
I think I think it's about the if you realize it or not.
Yeah.
Which,
I think if I ever were to become vegan, I wouldn't care so much about the single instance. I
What
would
do you mean?
just care about the general impact that I'm having.
What do you mean the single instance?
So I wouldn't care if there's like small amounts of animal product in something,
Oh yeah, I mean,
or that kind of stuff, or like if somebody cooks something and there might be something in it. Like
I know what you
if
mean.
those cookies aren't completely vegan, I won't really give that much of a
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I think that people who are like strictly vegan, they of course would reject such instances.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, to lead by example, if you can say that, you know.
yeah. I do understand that.
Have you
Yes.
tried being vegan once?
Well, there's been times that I've tried to eat very little animal product.
Mm-hmm.
And probably like there's got to be a week or something in there that I have been quite strictly vegan. Not
Yeah.
strictly, but mostly vegan.
Yeah.
Um,
Like paying attention to
yeah,
to it. Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Didn't like it.
Let's just say
What are you
that.
missing?
I mean, animal products.
Yes, I guess.
Come on, give me something more specific.
Yes.
to work with.
And also, I felt it was a lot of work. It was a lot of because I wanna eat healthy.
Yeah.
Basically, and not necessarily healthy. I want to eat natural. That's my own definition of healthy. I want to eat unprocessed foods.
So like clean food, basically
Yes.
clean products.
And I don't want to go for the processed vegan nuggets because I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
go for the chicken nuggets either.
Yeah.
Um,
Fair point.
And I'm not gonna go for the vegan meat, mince meat, because that's got like 20 ingredients in it. It's highly processed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of for me the difference. And if I were to turn fully vegan, I'd probably leave those out, the vegan cheese or the
Yeah.
like vegan
Like
meat.
whole food plant-based diet.
I would go for a whole food plant-based diet.
Like, I know what you mean, and of course, whenever you want to try something out, like a different diet, you have to, of course, research about it before, because if you just like switch like that and you don't know what you can miss out or how to do it, then you can fuck up your
Yeah,
like I
the
don't
whole
know.
system as well. I mean,
If you're not doing it correctly, yeah, if you're not following the recommendations, I don't know. Like,
I
you
guess
have to,
going
of course,
slowly is important as well
Yeah,
because
yeah.
your gut biome kind of has to adjust as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
That's
I
true.
guess it will
Like
eventually.
I tried being vegan last year for a month. I
Yeah.
think in November, October. I don't remember. And like when I tried the first time, obviously when you're vegetarian, there's a lot of days where you're just vegan as well. But I did
Yeah.
like eggs. I did like milk products. I wouldn't buy milk, but like milk products like yogurt, for
Yeah.
example. And I had like quite a hard time last year when I tried it, but that was just because I hadn't done like any research into it. Like I didn't actually know what I was doing. And
Yeah.
when I did my second attempt, which was starting from this year, like I'd done some reading on it and stuff, and now it's really not that hard. Like
Yeah.
for anyone that wants to try it, it's doable, and it's really, for me, the thing is, I think I have a different reasoning for why I'm vegan than most vegans.
What's your reason?
For me, it's not mainly, I mean, I can't say it's not animal welfare or ethics, because obviously it plays into it, but for me, it's mainly the environmental aspect
Yeah.
of being vegan. Because I mean, we kind of touched upon this, that I do enjoy like being in nature, and I've evolved like a big passion for it, and
Yeah.
whenever I can, I try to protect what I like.
Yeah.
For me,
So
yeah.
if you were to, for example, go fishing and actually catch a fish yourself, would you eat that?
I really liked fishing.
Yeah.
That was something my grandpa taught me in Bulgaria. I would go fishing every year, and I really enjoyed it, and I would eat the fish I caught. Yeah.
Still now or
No, no,
no?
not
Okay.
anymore. Not anymore.
So like this is because I feel like, and I actually watched a lot of stuff on this as well.
Yeah.
The environmental aspect of animal products is not it's not a necessity,
Mm.
basically. In the volume that we do consume it, yes,
Mm.
but you can actually sustainably produce animal product through permaculture, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
So like permaculture basically, well, there's terms like regenerate the soil and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. That all captures carbon and all like basically builds resources.
Mhm.
There's a really interesting movie on it called
Is it the
Kiss
one
the
on
Ground.
Netflix?
Yes, and I really recommend everybody to watch it. It's super interesting. I don't know if everything in there is true. I just know that it at least shows alternatives.
Yeah.
And I really do agree that the way we're doing it right now is wrong.
Mm.
There's no question about that. If you disconnect basically the food supply of the animals from the animals, you have the animals stand in gigantic feedlots or in dark barns
Yeah.
and just get their feed that you well produce in gigantic monocultures. That's bad.
Yeah, of course.
And you're not like you're degenerating the soil. You're producing climate gases, greenhouse gases, and that's just overall bad. But you can actually use animals as well to regenerate the soil, capture carbon in the soil. And I don't know if this is true. That's a quote from that movie. So I might be very wrong here. But
Let us know.
cattle could actually capture, like, be carbon positive, I guess, if you manage it right.
I mean, obviously that's part of the problem with how our like agriculture and
Has become.
yeah works, because it's like it's always mass production, mass production, mass production.
Well,
You know?
it's got to be
It's a lot
produced
of
by
that.
very little, with very little effort.
Yeah.
Basically, in permaculture, as I understand it, is a lot of effort. You need a lot more workers, but in our modern society, you have those workers.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of unemployed people, a lot of people doing pointless jobs. And if we were to transition back to a more agricultural model, I think we could be a lot more sustainable and could actually also eat animal products, not to the volume that we do now.
And I would fully support that if there was a way to more sustainably farm and eat animal products, but I still don't think that would change my opinion about becoming vegan, because right now, I mean, it started off like as an idea, but right now it's become something that I'm rather strict,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
strict
It's
with
already
myself
become
about
like
it.
yeah, you live it technically.
Yeah, like I've gotten used to it, and in the near future, I can't I can't see myself going back to eating at least meat. Maybe one day I'll switch back to becoming vegetarian, but not in the near future, because right now I'm like I really enjoy the vegan lifestyle. It's
Yeah.
a very interesting journey as well, and it I've only been seeing positive effects. You know, there's been nothing that's been like, oh, I really miss this, or I can see my body's not doing as well. But I guess there's also obviously long-term things you gotta watch out for.
What I heard is, and this might be anecdotal as well,
Yeah.
is that you really have problems with your iron uptake when you're vegan.
There are like a few nutrients that you have to like watch out for. I mean, iron is one of them.
I guess B12 as well,
B12,
but
yeah.
that's really easy to supplement.
Yeah.
So, but I heard iron is hard because you basically uptake it in the heme form most effectively, and well, you can't really get that from plants apparently.
I mean, the thing is, if you pay attention to what you eat and organize your meals and stuff, you can always like achieve it. Like, I mean, I can't say it for myself because I mean, I'm not vegan first of all fully, and also I've been kind of on this more plant-based diet for like a rather short time, so I don't know the like. I mean, I haven't tested myself,
Yeah.
regularly, so I can't really speak for myself that much. But yeah, I mean, just have to watch out and like eat foods that are rich in iron, for example,
Yeah.
and like combine them with foods that your body's gonna absorb it better,
Yes,
for
exactly.
example.
So basically, in conclusion, you need a lot more effort.
Yeah.
To basically get everything you need.
It is effort, but it feels like
Like
a
it's
good.
worth it.
It feels like it's worth it, and it feels good. You really know what you're giving your
Yeah.
body for most products you eat, and obviously there's things you gotta watch out for. For example, I substitute vitamin D, B12, and selenium, but that doesn't have to do with veganism.
Yeah.
That's just me. But
Oh, there's so many people with a vitamin D deficiency.
oh, so many, yes.
Yes. Like it doesn't matter if you're vegan or not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Especially in like middle and northern Europe, a lot of people with vitamin D deficiency.
And I mean, think about it. Back in the day, when we were cavemen, I guess, we were running around in the sun 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
And now, I guess we also like the people that we think of today as white probably weren't so white back then. Like if you look at people who are in the sun 24/7,
Yeah.
they get pretty dark pretty quickly.
That's true.
So like I think our really white skin is just kind of an effect of like being deprived of sun as well. So yeah.
I want to say one more thing about like that it's a lot of effort and stuff. I feel like it's because it's something new when you first try, right? So like the vegan diet, for example. So of course there's gonna be a lot of effort, but I think it's gonna be kind of just in the beginning, like when you start researching and when you start getting into it. And then after that, it's just gonna come natural,
Yeah.
Everything
Everything's
gonna
gonna
flow.
get easier.
Exactly, because you've already learned some things and you apply it every day, like it just becomes something natural.
And I'm telling you, it feels good to know what you're doing. And I'm not saying you can't do that with like an omnivorous diet, for example, but it feels good to know that what you're doing isn't like harming animals or is also considered good for the environment, and that feels kind of rewarding. So for me at least, it's because I'm still in the beginning phase. I mean, it's been what, a month and a half now.
And before that, you were vegetarian, though.
Yeah, for like 4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's vegetarianism. It's really not hard. Like looking back, I don't know if anything was ever really hard for me, but it feels, all the effort you put into it, it kind of feels rewarding in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of just run me through what do you eat in a day usually then?
Well, I mean,
the breakfast the
for
same.
me, the breakfast is an oatmeal with like nuts, fruits, peanut butter. Literally, like whatever I have, I just put it.
Peanut butter in the oatmeal.
Peanut butter in the oatmeal.
I guess.
Try it out.
It's quite good.
If you have room for the carbs, put some bananas in there. Bananas and peanut butter is some good shit.
Oh yeah, I know bananas and peanut butter
yes.
are good. I mean, for me it's kind of the same because like my breakfast is also like I eat a big bowl of oats with oat milk actually.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of lactose intolerant and I've never actually drank milk.
Good.
In my life.
I mean, a lot of people are lactose intolerant.
And like I've always been drinking rice or oat milk, basically. So I'm really used to that. And then I have like frozen berries with that.
Yeah.
That's really nice as well.
That's right now my everyday breakfast is oats, just in water, boil them up, with frozen blueberries right now. Yeah, it tastes better when it's warm. Like in the microwave, it's easier, but I don't have one right now, so I just boil them up with some water.
I do blueberries and raspberries. It's really nice mix.
Yeah. Like I put whatever frozen berries I have there right now. For example, today was blueberries, and then like all kinds of different seeds, nuts, peanut butter sometimes.
Yeah.
Thing is, I've been kind of eating this thing for literally past semester as well, and
Yeah.
I haven't got tired of it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you always can adjust, like you don't put berries, but you put bananas, for example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes you put grapefruit, for example, like whatever fruit there is, or pears or apples, and it always gives you kind of a different touch.
Grapefruit in the oatmeal.
Try it.
Okay, I guess I
Yeah,
might.
I guess it sounds kind of controversial, but also then
Very
again,
Yeah.
controversial.
I'm a big grapefruit lover, so
Okay. Yeah, but that's not all that I eat for breakfast. I actually eat also 500 grams of Greek yogurt and applesauce, and then 3 scrambled eggs
but
and
yeah,
salad.
That's a
and
huge breakfast.
that's a huge-
one avocado.
but are you bulking right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's basically the thing that I've been eating for half a year now.
Yeah.
Every morning it makes it super easy to kind of maintain my calories. To just like have that set breakfast that I eat every day.
Yeah.
So I know how long these like ingredients will last me. So I just like I don't have any food waste
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah,
Basically,
I get what you mean. Yeah.
I can completely ration it out, and I know what I'll need. So I don't have stuff that I buy in the spur of the moment, and then it just lies in my fridge for a month, and then I throw it away.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm the same, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. Like, and then also I gotta say I'm not. Oh, we actually gotta restart the
Press button
camera.
again.
But
Wait, can I go pee?
yeah.
Should I just leave it? Or
I mean, we can take a break, or we can.
just 1 minute?
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're back.
It's working.
Where were we?
I don't know. Actually, yeah. Where were we? Still like breakfast habits.
Oh, yeah. I think what I just wanted to mention real quick is I also do care, and I'm trying to like if I buy animal products, it's usually organic. And if there were options from like permaculture and one step above, basically organic, I would buy that. I would invest more money into that.
Is the permaculture, right?
Yeah.
Is it happening nowadays, or is it?
It's
still,
happening nowadays.
So it's not like is it still being developed? Or
there's a lot of concepts known to it. It's just hard to switch to that.
But like,
because you need a lot of work.
Do you like? Have you seen products from permaculture like in the supermarkets, for example, or?
Not really.
Okay.
I guess you wouldn't know because they would just be marketed as organic products, bro.
Okay, right.
And I guess in farm stores, I don't think it's that common in Europe actually.
Where is it common? In the US?
I think in the US and like in all kinds of countries actually. There's a lot of projects around that. If you're really interested in that, there's a lot of good YouTube shorts.
Like I would
about
be interested
permaculture.
Too.
This is super interesting, and it's actually another thing that I could see myself doing. Just studying that, and well, I think, and from what I've gathered, is you need more work, but you're gonna get something out of it. So basically, the concept is that we as humans can destroy, but we can also build, and we can basically use natural processes to build ecosystems that work for us.
The voice crack.
So, and that's gonna result in mimicking. You're gonna do that with mimicking natural processes. So, for example, you mob graze your animals. So
what does mob graze mean?
So yeah, I was about to explain that. So you have them in a big herd, and you move them to a new section of the pasture every day, and they graze down that grass, and it doesn't get overgrazed, basically.
Yeah.
So they fertilize it. They eat some, they fertilize some, and then it grows again.
Yeah.
And you get optimal growth. You don't get overgrazing. You don't get desertification. And you actually build the soil. You get more like the productivity of the soil could be measured in like centimeters down that it goes. And like you build more soil, like living soil,
But why
and that's going to
are
be more productive. You're going to have more grass growth. You're going to like basically, and it's the same for crops as well.
It's also it's much more sustainable, right?
Yeah.
Because you
Of
can
course.
keep doing that in
And
long run.
The more living soil you have, the
Yeah.
more carbon you capture, actually. So that's super interesting, I think. And also another part of it is basically no-till farming. So what we do is we till our fields. That's basically plowing. Well, we plow our fields, and that releases gigantic clouds of CO2.
Yeah.
Gigantic. There's some there's some graphics on it, and I really do recommend you guys to go and watch Kiss the Ground.
Yeah,
It's super interesting. It lays it out perfectly, but I don't know if it's necessarily 100% true.
It's always good to get another view on it, even if it's not 100% accurate. It makes you think about it, and then you can inform
why is
yourself
not the normal farming or like agriculture not like doing that? Is it just because it's more expensive, or
no? Basically, you would need to
reason?
transition to that, and the first few years are not gonna be as
like
productive.
you mean for the soil to
Yes.
exist.
But what we do now is basically we plow the fields,
Yeah.
and then we put on metric fuck tons of fertilizer. We bring that out from like other sources, and we put that on the field. And before that, we spray the field with herbicides that kill everything that isn't the crop that we want. And those herbicides actually also kill the this microbes in the soil and make the soil really unproductive. So you need that that fertilizer then to make the soil productive. But if you don't plow, but just basically cut everything off and then put your seeds in the soil, then you're gonna have a natural buildup of soil over the year, and you like graze animals on it on the off season. You plant cover crops and everything, and at some point you're gonna have a more productive system. I think now we're using like 10 times the amount of fertilizer that we used in the 1950s. Like all these numbers are just anecdotal. I don't know. Might be different, but it's at that order of magnitude.
Yeah. So basically, it's not being done as much right now because it would require time to
switch over.
Yeah.
And there's not that much education on it either. The farmers just aren't trusting it, but there is farmers switching over to it as well.
That's good.
And we could, well, that's another anecdote from that movie. We could negate our carbon emissions if I think a significant portion of our farms actually did that. It's doing that much. If we build soil, if we capture carbon, we can negate our carbon emissions.
Well,
I mean, it's a more sustainable way of farming. So.
Exactly. I think this is just a huge thing that we're overlooking. How we could really fix our climate.
I mean, is it getting more and more popular? Because I mean, you know about this stuff. I literally haven't heard about it. I just heard once from when you mentioned the movie, but I haven't researched into that. But is it getting like?
It's getting more popular. I don't know
when
if
did
fast
it start?
enough though.
Like recently, or has it been ever?
I think it's practices that have been known for a long time. They just have been overlooked due to the agricultural revolution and the emergence of artificial methods of farming.
Yeah.
So I think that stuff just got really popular, and there's a lot of money involved as well with the big companies that basically sell seeds and fertilizer and everything. They obviously don't want this to get out.
What is it called? Lobbyism? Yeah.
I guess.
It's very strong.
The bane of capitalism.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess that's one way to describe it.
I guess that's crazy. But I think, and that's another thing. We have so many we have so many solutions that we could come to and let them help us regain control of the situation.
Yeah.
So you don't have to panic, but just do something and do it intelligently.
Can I
But
Yeah.
okay,
go
the
ahead?
thing is, a big part of the population is not really educated on that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you say you don't have to panic, but also like a huge part don't know what's going on and like don't even realize the problem, you know.
But yeah, I'm not saying don't.
I'm not saying that you should panic, of course,
Yes.
but you should get educated.
Yes, exactly. Don't panic. Get educated.
Yeah,
And do the right thing,
yeah.
basically.
Just form an opinion and like research, and educate yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Like my question was kind of to round up this topic of like sustainability, farming, everything,
Yeah.
what diet you choose, climate change. Do you guys think there's a way to like save the planet still?
Oh yeah, I think
It-
this is the way, basically.
But do you think it's gonna happen in time?
I think it could happen in time, and I think there's no reason to think it couldn't. I just think we need to kind of wake up to the realization that we can still do something.
Yeah.
I think that notion of we can't do anything, it's too late now,
Yeah.
is very, very destructive.
No, definitely. But for me, the biggest problem with like how's it called? Like preservation ways of how you want to preserve stuff is that sometimes governments just don't provide the like they don't provide you the means to do it, and then it's like up to individuals to do something.
Yeah.
They
You know
don't
what I
focus
mean? There
on
should
that.
be a bigger platform provided by the states so people could actually, you know, to inform people, to let them know what needs to be done. And I don't think that is happening fast enough. And right now, as it looks, it's more up to like there is obviously guidelines and like regulations, but I don't think they're drastic enough to make a change in time.
I think that's part of the process of educating yourself, of course, because like if the governments are like, you know, us, if they're not educating the mass of people, then a change wouldn't probably be like a change wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a big problem also is the hypocrisy of a lot of people. A lot of people are just doing stuff that doesn't really help. Like, and they get self value from that, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's ways that you can really help, but if you get actors preaching about climate change and then flying in their private jet to that event, then
Yeah.
people are not going to take them serious.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
So
That's a very good example.
yeah.
It's actually, yeah.
Just doing it for the clout, you know.
Yeah.
The thing is, it obviously it's important that you like just on your own have a drive of wanting to change something or realizing there needs to be a change.
Yeah.
But there's only so much you can do as an individual, and I'm not saying any one of us or the people I know is doing enough, but I'm saying you gradually get into it. When I see myself, for example, and how much I've changed my like unsustainable or unhealthy or unenvironmental habits over the past 2 years, basically, I see a big change, and I only see improvement in regards to that. But
Yeah.
I also know a lot of people that don't care about this kind of stuff, and I don't see them ever doing so. You know,
I
and
also strongly believe that the change starts with you.
Yeah.
Because once you kind of accept and like get educated and like learn what you're actually doing, then you can I mean, influence others if
Mm.
they want to be influenced.
I think there's a lot of people that just go with the flow.
I know, yeah.
And I think once you reach critical mass on a lot of topics, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's why just leading by example is really important.
And that would be something. Wouldn't it be so easy if the government provided those?
Yeah.
If government provided those regulations, because they're the ones to lead by example.
Well,
I mean,
that's
not it's it.
what are you proposing exactly?
No, like I'm proposing to educate people more,
Oh yes.
and that is something that's up to the like individual countries. And if you educate more people, more
More
people, more, more people will have the individual drive to change something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because right now you pick it up kind of on your own, or somebody tells you about it, or you see it somewhere. But if, for example, you teach stuff like that in school, which I don't think it's being done enough, then more people will grasp onto that early on and will try to make a change.
Thing is, now you can seem kind of radical about it, because it's not normalized as much.
Yeah. Yeah, you said it very nicely. What did you say? That once you reach a critical point, people are just gonna go with it, and
That's true.
that critical point is gonna be reached more easily if the countries do something to educate more people. If you get more people involved,
And like I honestly, I mean, if it's gonna be for veganism, I guess that's gonna be that.
I'm actually not even talking about veganism. I'm just talking about like general ways of reversing climate change. And I don't think veganism is one of the big ones there. It's definitely not the biggest one.
It's one of the biggest though.
There's like, for example, air traffic, cars.
Yeah.
These mainly. But I mean, I told you, for me, it's mainly because of the environment, and I know that's not the biggest factor, but for me, that's still my main drive.
Yeah.
Of being vegan.
I, for one, just hope, because I like eating animal products.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't kind of want to give it up. I could at some point, but I don't really want to. But I just hope that we rethink the way we get our food.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I think that is very doable. And it's gonna create jobs. It's gonna create overall more health, because for example, the vegetables that we eat today have way less nutrients in them than they had 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's just because they're basically farmed in a food desert.
Yeah.
In a desert where there's artificial stuff being brought in, and there's no microbiome that feeds these vegetables, for example.
Yeah.
So we would all gain from that, if vegan or not.
Definitely, and the problem is just turning on that switch and making the change. I feel, and that's for most things,
Yeah, but I think once you reach that critical mass, and once it's a thing, then capitalism is going to kick in and actually help it along.
Yeah.
Before that, it keeps it down. But the beauty that capitalism sometimes has is that once you reach that critical mass, it's being provided for, because there's a market now.
Exactly. As soon as people change their mindsets and like start preferring products, for example, that they wouldn't, that they preferred, I mean, different products than they used to. Of course, like, more money is gonna go there.
Because there's already a market for organic products, right?
Yeah.
And that has grown.
Yeah, exactly.
That
has become more popular.
Yeah. Now imagine you get a different label from permaculture.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a market for it. I think many people will go for it. That now go for the what's it called? Organic stuff.
Yeah.
And once you get the market for it, it's gonna just expand.
Yeah. The market shifts with what the people like.
Yeah. So, I mean, of course you can encourage that with government. and with tax incentives and everything. Mm. And I think another big part is just getting everybody healthy again.
Yeah.
I think that's our biggest problem. Like we're just so unhealthy as a society, be it our sleep schedules, our eating habits,
Let's not talk about sleep schedules, guys.
and everything. We're not getting educated about that.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people are starting to educate themselves. I think the shift is being made.
I mean, it's definitely with what is. I mean, in the end, it's your own health, and you're always gonna be the one that has to watch out for it. But
Of course.
of course, it's nice if people help you, if people make you aware of things you weren't aware before.
Yeah.
Maybe because you were too young or because you were too ignorant. But I wish I had like made a change to a healthier lifestyle longer ago than I did, because it happened basically like 1.5 years ago
Yeah.
for me, and I wish I could have done that earlier. And I feel sorry for some people that don't realize that there is a need to change some stuff,
Yeah.
especially when and being healthy, that there's a lot of things playing into that. You mentioned it, like sleep, exercise, and like diet, and
Being happy, actually.
being happy. Yeah, of course, that's a really big one. But
Yeah.
those,
Not being
like,
stressed.
for example, if you're not sleeping well, I can't see you being happy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you're eating shit food, I can't see you being happy. And I realized on myself, like, since I started eating better, my digestion's working better, and I
Yeah.
sleep better as well,
Yeah, of course.
And
But I've also noticed that once my sleep schedule got fucked up,
yeah,
everything went to shit.
mm,
And I started getting like semi-depressive or depressed, and something I wouldn't call it depressed.
Yeah.
It's honestly not depression. It's just
like down.
Like
kind of down.
Yeah.
And once I fix that, it's fine. I think it's not only that. One big thing is sun for me.
Mm,
In summer, I feel so much better. I have so much more energy.
obviously, yeah. Isn't that most people?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just
I would
all of us
always-
being vitamin D deficient.
I would always choose summer over.
But
over
also
winter.
that could be due to the fact that you don't really have uni, like other stress factors, I would say,
Yeah.
Like you're kind of more free in the summer, like you do your own stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess that's also a big factor to contributing to if you're less stressed or not,
Yeah.
throughout the whole year. But of course, like I completely agree.
It's
Yeah.
nice to just go out in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And it's light until like 10 in the evening.
I'm not gonna stay in Stockholm
For like after your studies, or
after my bachelor.
Yeah. Just too dark.
It's too dark. That really wrecks me.
I get it.
Turn dark real quick.
Gets dark at like 2 in the winter, so
Yeah.
I get it.
It's getting better though.
I'm kind of getting used to it.
Mm.
I mean, it's the
It's
second
better
year.
this year.
Yeah, it's better this
I
year.
had my struggles last year,
Last
but
year
this year
was so-
I've kind of gotten used to it.
Yeah.
Also, the winter this year feels like a real winter.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know the bullshit weather we had last year, where it snowed for like 3 days and it melted right away, and there was like 0 degrees at least. This year, it's that's a winter.
It was also kind of depressing last December, like 2020, when literally like for 2 or 3 weeks there was no sun.
Yeah.
Like it was just not even like fog. It was just the clouds.
Yeah. It was just
Everything
gray
was
all day.
gray.
It was like gray for a month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you like whenever you wake up, it's literally the same.
Right now, every morning, it's super sunny, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's so good.
It's
Yeah.
so nice, yeah.
I open the curtains and it's just bright. I'm just like beautiful.
And then you leave the house and there's a whole different level of energy, for me
Yeah.
at least.
You learn to appreciate
Yeah.
the little things,
You really do. If you're living in the
in Stockholm.
in the north. Yeah.
And this morning, I had my little adventure. I basically noticed that I didn't have any more toilet paper.
Nice.
Luckily, before I took a shit.
Oh, okay. No, that's boring.
However, I really needed to take a shit, and I didn't want to go to I wanted to go shopping later,
Yeah.
and I went shopping later, but I didn't want to wait. I
Mm,
didn't want to hold it in.
yeah, no.
So
You
I
didn't
just
wanna or you couldn't.
I don't know. I didn't want to. Didn't want to test my luck
Yeah.
In the store especially.
in the store, especially. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
suddenly squat down.
What?
Well, so I just put on my bathrobe,
Yeah.
and like it's a super comfy bathrobe. I love this thing. It's amazing. It's like plushy. It's fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I put that thing on, just put on some shoes, walk down to Coop, and everybody looks at me funny.
Oh, I would have loved to see that, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody's like
What the fuck's
looking
going
at me
on?
funny. I'm just like walking down to Coop. Like, it's just 100
Yeah.
meters or
Mm.
like 200.
Mm.
But like it's right next to the bus stop and the like tunnelbana.
Yeah.
So I'm just walking there. People like come towards me, and I look at them. They don't look at me, but I turn my head and I feel them looking at me.
But
Classic.
I mean, you're the guy to do it. Like, you're very confident. You can literally rock any outfit, you know.
Yeah, I felt like the Big Lebowski.
I couldn't see myself doing that, for example.
Would have taken a shit.
You could. I think you could.
Like, you have to, you know.
I have to
Sometimes.
walk to ICA with
Yeah,
my
you have
bathrobe
to, you
on.
must.
I don't know about that.
Well, and then I just buy a huge stack of toilet paper.
Maybe
Just
at
some
that point.
dude in a bathrobe coming in there at 2.
Oh yeah. My morning.
At 2. This is not the morning. This is like I was hungover as shit. Like eye rings still here, wild hair, buying a stack of toilet paper in a bathrobe.
I mean, probably by the time they saw you with the stack of toilet paper in your bathrobe, they kind of could have guessed what's going on. You know, there's a guy in a bathrobe with a stack of toilet paper. You can kind of rhyme the story, you know.
I guess, yes. Like the cashier said something in Swedish to me, like some wanted to be funny. I was like, what? Excuse me, and because I didn't understand, but he didn't repeat it in English, so I don't know what he said.
I hate that moment when like because I always I always say like hey, and they think you're Swedish.
Yeah.
And then they say something in the store,
Then he was like,
and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then they have to reply in English. That's always so annoying for me. That's like one of the
that
reasons.
happens every time.
Yeah, every time they ask you if you the receipt part. I've kind of gotten it by now, but they ask you. Nejtak. But they ask you if you want it back, for example, or like if some even ask, you know, if you're happy with the service. If you go to like not grocery stores.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
I never get that.
To the brothel.
And I never get that, and then I'm always like throwing them off my English, and I feel bad after it.
Are you happy with the service?
Not that kind of service.
Could I get the apple juice?
Sure. I actually thought of another topic right now.
Yeah. We also gotta see. I think we gotta wrap this up soon.
Oh, yeah.
It's time.
Because we got somewhere to go.
Yeah, it's 10.
It's fine. We can go for like
10 in the morning. We sat down early to record this.
yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
No. Let's go to your topic as well, and let's just aim for ending this in like 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, I just thought of if it's more like a question. Do you think that, like especially higher education, so like university and stuff, do you think that it should be like, do you think you should pay for it or do you think it should be free? Because my whole life I've kind of like supported, like I thought that it's better for it to be free, of course, like you don't pay.
Yeah.
But then this winter break I heard another opinion that basically when it's free it kind of, for a lot of people, it demotivates you, and like they just, you know, like because if it's free, then of course like everyone pays it from their taxes, right?
Yeah.
And when a student attends university and stuff, like for a lot of cases, they can be very demotivated, and they can be just attending university just because it's, like everyone does it, or
Yeah.
just because their family told them to do that, and it's just demotivating. And then in the end, after they graduate, like they might just not, be as successful
Yeah.
or whatever, and they kind of wasted their time, you know,
I mean, they probably
which,
got some good parties out of it.
yeah. But no, what I mean is that if you pay for it, you are more likely to be invested in it,
I know.
and like it's
Yeah.
less, because of course if you take a loan, you would want to, of course, pay it back,
Mm.
so you would be more motivated to
Yes.
complete it.
Um.
So that's kind of, right now I don't know what opinion I have about that, because after this opinion that I've heard, it's like kind of, I get it. It's like I get what the other side is,
Yeah. I
So
I get it as well.
I see the point.
because for example, in Bulgaria, a lot of people go to university and then they don't even attend classes. They get like the lowest grades and stuff. Um, it's just very a demotivating environment, I would say. Not that I have been to one, but I've heard stories,
Yeah.
I mean, can't you kind of compare that to high school environment?
Yeah.
At least if I compare my high school experience, you're often demotivated and you don't really want to do it.
Thing is,
But for me, that had mainly, and I had those phases. Of course, I had like phases of high school where I didn't do want to shit. I didn't want to do shit. But for me, that mainly has to do with my interests and me not liking certain subjects. And once I got to university and I could choose what I wanted to do, that's changed. Right now, I'm doing something that I enjoy, and there we gotta press the button.
All right.
including, yeah.
So right now, I'm doing something that I enjoy, and whether I'm paying for it or not, and I'm happy I'm not, I'm invested into it no matter what. And I feel like the the fact that I don't have to pay for it even makes it has like a bigger value, because someone provides like the government basically provides me with education that I otherwise would have to pay for, and I feel like that's something that also motivates you in a way,
Yeah.
because if you're paying for it, you are going to be motivated, but is it going to be by the right means? Is it going to be because you're really invested into your studies because you're interested in it, or are you going to be invested into it because you're basically kind of forced because you have capital in there,
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, but you would be more likely to be invested in it because you would have an incentive to pay it back.
Yes, but is that like that interest or that investment you're putting into your studies, is it going to be based on just purely your interests,
Right.
or only because you're paying for it?
Thing
Yeah.
is, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, if you have to pay for it, then you would consider it much more than if it was free.
Yeah.
So you would have to be much more sure of what you want to do in order to start doing it.
Yeah.
Because now some people just start doing degrees that they don't like. They're interested in it, but it's like whatever,
Yeah.
They just apply for something just for the sake of applying,
Yeah.
And I mean, they don't really have that incentive, I would say. I don't know.
I think this is going in the wrong direction, and let me tell you why. First of all, there's the argument of basically the divide between rich and poor.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have rich kids that just get their education paid for, and other people that can't afford it.
But that's why you take a loan.
If you were to pay for it.
If you were to pay for it,
Yeah.
it also depends on how much you pay. If you just pay like a
course.
little bit,
Yeah, there's levels to it.
that's gonna be fine probably. But then again, as soon as you introduce, basically that on it, it doesn't become even anymore. It becomes class based.
I agree.
Even if it's just so incremental. I think that's the immediate problem that you get then.
But do you think that if of course it's gonna be based on like how rich you are and stuff. But if you if you're allowed to take a loan, that be like would that make a difference?
The thing is, for some people, taking a loan is a big risk by
Mm.
itself.
I'm also not a fan of indentured servitude. So,
Of a what?
well, basically, you have to basically give that money back with interest at some point.
Oh,
And
yeah,
until then, you kind of are the bitch of the bank.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying. Like, there's a lot of risk involved.
And also, what if you don't like the thing you're studying?
Mm.
And you discover that after 2 years, but you've already invested so much,
Yeah,
and now you can't change because you
Yeah.
have to finish this.
I know. Yeah,
That's a really good point, actually.
You have to finish this now, get a job in it, and like make your money back.
yeah,
And that free education allows you, yes, maybe you're gonna have a subject or like a course, whatever you decide to do that you don't like, but it being free allows you to change at some point. Even if it's after 2 years, I still think it's better to make
Yeah.
a change and do something you're gonna enjoy, most likely for the rest of your life, or you
Yeah.
can see yourself working in, than you investing money, doing it for 2 years, and then you're kind of bound to it because
Yeah.
you don't have the money to do something else now for 3 years.
but also look at it from that perspective. If you do a degree for like 2 years or whatever, and then you find out you're not interested in that.
Wow, okay,
You're not interested.
way to hurt my feelings here.
So if the degree is free, then wouldn't that kind of mean that you've wasted other people's money on your degree that you're potentially not going to use ever
Mm,
because they paid for a degree because
yes,
it's free?
I know what you mean, but
Like, is that
you're-
fair for them?
you're gonna give more back to society
How? Why?
because
You're gonna be doing what you love.
exactly, and you're gonna be more productive. Obviously, if you do something in the end that you don't enjoy, and
Yeah.
like you thought you were interested in it, and now you end up doing it for the rest of your life, but you don't really enjoy it, you're most likely not gonna end up doing it for the rest of your life. So you're gonna re-educate at some point, anyways. But also you're not gonna like it as much, and you're not gonna be as productive. So even if someone else pays for your education and you decide to change career paths after like 2 or 3 years, I still think if you then choose something that you enjoy more, you're gonna be more productive in the end, and by that you're somehow gonna pay like society or the
Like,
state
I
back.
completely agree with you. Yeah. It's just that I'm trying to look at it from the other
I,
perspective.
I,
as
I
well.
no, I see the
Yes.
points, but for me there's still no.
I think the benefits outweigh the negatives
Yeah.
on like free education, in my opinion.
And like I think free education is one of the most like revolutionary things
Yeah.
that have come to us in the past. Like that's it. Like I'm obviously grateful, and sometimes I look back into high school and I feel like I were often very ungrateful
Yeah.
because even though I hated those subjects, I still. I'm not gonna mention any, but even though I hated those subjects,
And some teachers.
and some
probably.
and some teachers probably even more than the subject,
Yeah.
I still feel like they taught me some stuff, and maybe it was 6 years and I took like 3 lessons from it that are now useful to
Yeah.
me, but I'm still grateful that I got those lessons for free.
Yeah, I still think we can talk about revamps to the education
Yeah,
system
yeah.
all day. I think there's so much that would need to be changed. There's so many bad aspects to it.
Yeah.
But I think the aspect of it being free is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I stand by that.
Yeah.
Like I also try to
I-
see the other
Yeah.
argument.
You
and
could
the other
make
view.
it harsher. You could,
Thing is,
Make
my
it
argument
easier
was
to
just for the
flunk
higher
out.
education, not for
Yeah.
the co-education.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Because after you graduate from school, then you can choose not to attend university. You can choose to start working.
yeah,
But if
And
you
I
want
think
to
not
attend
enough
university,
people are doing that. I think many people are just getting nonsensical degrees that
exactly,
they're not
that's,
going to use
that's
anyways.
exactly that's what my point was.
Yes, but I
They're
think
just applying for the sake of doing it.
yeah, but that's not it's not the problem with it being paid or not. I think it's just with people who don't.
Well,
I think it's just societal pressure, and I think there's other ways of going about this.
but for those people, the money put on them can be used for other things. for more useful things.
I guess, yes, but I think especially in our Western society, we have a lot of money that can go to that as well, and it's better than the alternative of.
I mean, it depends on what Western society you look at, because in the US everything's paid, for example.
But is
That's-
that good, or does that create elites and a very classist divide?
Yeah, I mean,
I know a lot of people from the US because I did like a short exchange there, and they all came to Germany to study.
Yeah.
Basically, most of them that I know.
but it was a German school as well.
It was an international school, yeah. They had part of their subject in German, but still they, you know, I don't think in the, let's say it would
Where
have
did
been
you go?
in like 10th grade.
Okay, now where in?
Oh, where? In California.
They had a German school there.
They had, yeah, it was a private school though.
Oh, that's crazy.
But still, it was a private school, so meaning they were paying for their lower education
Yeah.
a lot of money,
Yeah.
and they still decided to not, most of them that I like I'm still have some contact with, they decided to come to Germany, even
Yeah.
though their families probably had the money since they were doing
Mhm.
like an undergraduate paid
Right.
education, and then for the more important part, for like when they specialized, they decided to come to Germany to enjoy free education.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you're always gonna have your people that are just gonna slack off. They're not gonna do anything, and
But
if
you're
they
gonna
if
have
they're not
fewer of
doing
them.
if you're not doing that in university, they're just gonna hang around somewhere else and do a half-ass job. I think.
like I know that you're gonna make it stricter, so everyone that actually wants to do something
Yeah.
is gonna do it. But I think you're gonna cut off a lot of people that still want to do something and don't have the money or the means to do it.
I think the
If you
way
make it
you
paid.
could go about it is just give it harsher filters, so the people that don't put in work get.
I think that's
Well,
kind of
washed
the
out.
German system, right? In
Mhm.
university, or at least like I have friends who study in Germany because it's a very popular destination for Bulgarians to go to Germany to
Yeah.
study for university. I think it's like after the first year you've been accepted, and then like after the first year, then they have some sort of exams, and then literally they cut more than 50% of the student body.
Yeah.
But
And
that's
like
not
with
all.
every
That's not all courses.
No. I think that's that might be very harsh for those people who are actually trying,
Mm.
but just can't get it done. But maybe you could implement a rule that, like, if you flunk out of the first year, you just have to do the first year again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also,
Um,
some. Yeah.
So you're just gonna have to put in the work. If you really want to, you can continue doing it, but you're not gonna get anywhere if you don't study.
I feel like if you were to judge by grades, and that's obviously what's happening in universities, if they cut off like 50% of the people that are trying to study the course,
Yeah.
sometimes you're gonna cut off people that are actually more invested but have a harder
Exactly.
time with
Yeah.
studying or memorizing stuff,
Yeah.
and you're gonna throw out people that maybe are really invested into this course and they
Yeah.
can see themselves doing a whole lifetime of whatever work they want to do, and then just because you have some smart people or it's people that have an easy time studying but they don't really care about that course, what's gonna be more productive in the end,
no,
you
Yeah.
know?
I mean,
I think statistically you're still probably pretty good with
Probably, but there's always gonna
that
be
approach.
individuals.
There's
you know?
always gonna this is not about the perfect solution, because there is no perfect
No.
solution in my opinion. There's no perfect solution for anything,
Mhm.
really.
Yeah.
And if a solution sounds too perfect, you're not seeing the whole picture. But I think the answer to that would just to revamp the grading system.
Yeah.
And basically have a more personalized education. So basically, you see those people that are not putting in effort, and you systematically filter them out for exactly that. If people maybe make it so, if you put in a lot of work and are very committed, you get bonuses somehow. I don't know how you're gonna do that. I think there's ways to determine that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it would be too much to rant about everything that's wrong with our school system.
Yes, I think.
Because I think it's a lot of things, and I always like to emphasize the point that smart people don't necessarily get good grades, and the other way around.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of
Like,
course.
And like I was a student with good grades, but I know many smarter people. A lot of smarter. What was that right? I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of smarter people that didn't necessarily have good grades,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what was always bugging me about the school system.
I guess our school system is still very old, and it's designed to make factory workers and people who don't really question too much and
Yeah.
just like kind of know their basics.
Yeah.
And then comply with authority. That's what it's designed for. Like even the school bell. That's originally like supposed to mimic the factory bell. That's a real thing.
That's
Oh,
a very
shit.
interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought about it
I've
like
never
that.
thought about that as well.
And like we don't really have that. I guess maybe we have that in factories still.
Yeah.
But like we're not like a society that mostly works in factories anymore. But
Yeah.
like we still have that element.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of like it's very structured. You have to obey the teacher like you would have to your superior. You like it's very authoritarian actually.
Yeah,
if
very
you think about
linear,
it.
you know.
When you think of it, it's like very mind blowing. Like,
Yeah.
Oh god. So mind blowing.
I mean, the point with the belt at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Actually, yeah.
what?
We're all being slaves of capitalism.
No, well,
That was just a joke, but yeah.
I think what we would need to do would be to actually look at this thing and invent school in a new way.
Yeah.
So basically, we just go with, like, we just consult, I guess, behavior, like people, like psychologists, people who really know about human behavior, really know about learning, and really know about social dynamics and that kind of stuff, to really enforce in your population the ability to think.
Yeah.
And to connect things and make school really interesting and build new generations of enlightened minds, I guess.
On the powerful end to that debate, I feel like.
But I think the system is just like the analogy I like to use. It's an old system. No, it's like a car, you know. You get a really old car, and at some point you're gonna like replace different parts, get new parts, maybe get a new coat of paint or whatever. But it's still the same old car.
Yeah.
And at some point it just can't really hold up anymore because it's just outdated. And it doesn't meet the needs of this generation anymore.
Yeah.
So you get a new car. But we still have the same school system that we had 120 years ago.
The old car.
We still have the old car.
Yeah.
And while it's a beautiful old timer, we might need to retire that one.
Yeah.
If we want to move forward into the future.
You're right, but I guess that's not. I mean, I don't see myself going into education or revamping the school system, but I
No.
hope it's gonna happen sometime.
I hope it's going to happen as well, yes.
For all young minds that are gonna follow us.
But the only thing that I ever saw was digitalization. Like basically, they put up whiteboards that like work for I don't know half a year,
Yeah.
and then the teacher until the old 6-year-old teacher starts writing on the whiteboard
With
and
a
destroys
marker.
it with a marker.
with a marker. Oh.
Or like at some point they just like put like a whiteboard
Yeah.
on top of that and just like start using it like a normal
they
board.
always had like interactive board and then a whiteboard.
Yeah.
They could
Yeah.
use it. Most teachers would just use the whiteboard.
Yes.
You know?
And like some new teachers would always like go on and try and use the new methods,
Oh my god. Yes.
and they get frustrated and stop it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just not the way, and I think school isn't supposed to be digital either.
It isn't, but then again, I mean, there's different aspects to like digitalization. But for example, right now during the pandemic,
Of course.
digitalization would help a lot to keep
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but I
studies
think
going.
that's another point where they completely failed.
Yes.
Like
In Germany, yes,
you
for
could
sure.
just implement online learning
Yeah.
programs instead of Zoom classes,
Yeah.
because Zoom classes are widely ineffectual.
Mm.
You just use learning programs with like daily little tests and stuff, and they'll just have to learn, just have to kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
And if you develop a learning system for your whole country, you can kind of switch over to that in a case like this.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, but like it's too late once it's already, once the pandemic's already started and you realize, oh shit, how are we gonna do that? Then it's too late already,
Well, it's been a year.
It's been a year, but has anything changed since
No,
then?
but
No.
like, how bad can it be to develop that
Well,
education system?
I guess nobody's done it.
Yes, exactly. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
That stuff like that hasn't happened. I think there's just not enough people who really take initiative nowadays and really question the way that we are doing things. I think there's too many people just following and too little people just questioning. And I guess that might be because of a school system.
Yeah.
To circle back around. But I actually see a lot more people getting a lot more self-aware. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting into that age where people do that, or if it's actually movement in society where people just
I
become
think
a
there's
lot more.
definitely movement
Yeah, I
in
feel the
society.
same. Like I don't think it's just me. It's like, or at least most of my friends are doing it,
Yeah.
which is a very cool thing.
Everybody's getting into sports, into gymming, into lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that was a thing that was very promoted by the pandemic, actually.
Yeah.
Getting into focusing on yourself, because you had the time suddenly. You suddenly had the time to focus on yourself, on your diet, on how you exercise, and normally like throughout your daily life, which might sometimes be very stressful. It can be hard to like do that transition. And the pandemic gave, at least for me, it gave me a lot of time to structure things.
I mean, it helped me a lot, but I've been super privileged in that.
Yeah.
And I struggle to use the word privilege, but still, I have been just by luck, I guess. I've been in Sweden, a country with the, I guess, least restrictions due to the pandemic anywhere. And then I've been to Germany in summer when everything was nice, and I could lifeguard for 3 months at the beach. There basically was no mention of COVID on that island. So
That's good.
I've just been super lucky with this whole thing.
Yeah.
I've not really felt the negative sides of that, and I've even had the virus probably, and kicked it quite quickly because I just came from summer and probably was super fit. So I've just been super lucky, and I realized that.
Yeah, but and not everyone's that lucky, You always gotta think of that as well.
Of course, I'm very thankful of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that it?
I think that's a solid end.
Yeah.
But honestly, we got to do this again.
Yeah.
In this conversation.
I'm down for part 2.
Yeah.
Because like I felt like we had really good
Points.
Good points, really good conversations.
And even if what we wrote down, we didn't even go through everything. And
we didn't go through the gym stuff.
Yeah,
we didn't go.
We can do a whole episode about gym related stuff.
So yeah, look out for that.
Yeah.
And this is really good. It's going really good.
Honestly, it was really fun. Like you've been asking me to come join you for like a few weeks now.
Yeah.
And I never had the time, but like I always wanted to do it. And
yeah, you were supposed to be the first person.
I know. Well, second, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
But it was really fun, and I'm definitely down to do it again.
Yeah, and maybe next time we can prepare, like in like before that, we
Yeah.
can prepare some talking points. You guys, if I can give you some homework, just watch Kiss the Ground. Super interesting.
I want
I
to
will,
watch
for
yeah.
for everybody listening here, really go watch it. It's on
Netflix.
Netflix, but you can also get it on, for example, what's it called, Vimeo for like €1. Just buying it. It's gotta probably be on Amazon Prime as well or whatever.
You'll find it.
You'll
yeah.
find it. It's a big production as well. It's narrated by Woody Harrelson actually.
Mm.
So yeah, and it's gonna be good to listen to for vegan and non-vegan people alike, because it makes good points about both of those two lifestyles, and how both can be improved. Makes good points of why to be vegan.
Yeah.
Makes good points of how to not be vegan, but also help the environment. So yeah, go watch that. And yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
See you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.